All in all, this is what we need to go through. The double high safety look family, cover 4, cover 2 zone, cover 2 man, cover 0. And the single high family, cover 3 or cover 1. To the bottom right, we have the different things we have to go through for each and every coverage. The rules and logic, the alignment, strengths and weaknesses, and the creative wrinkles that you can implement into each coverage. This video will be about the rules and logic behind cover 4, palms, and man match. So I have cover 4 palms called on the defense here. One of the first things you need to understand is cover 4 palms, they only run it when there's a threat in the slot. Okay. A better way of putting it is on this side of the field they will automatically check into regular cover 4 coverage, and the reason for that is because the number 2 is attached to the offensive line. There's a reason why they do this. I'm not going to get into it right now, but just understand when you call cover 4 palms like I did in this instance, they will play traditional cover 4 on this side of the field because of the number 2. He's not out in space. He's attached to the offensive line. On this side of the field, they will play the traditional cover 4 palms that you have called. Okay, so this is a good formation to get into the differences between cover 4 and cover 4 palms because we're playing both of them on this very same play. Okay, so on this side they're playing traditional cover 4. The corner is reading 1 to 2. Okay, if number 1 runs anything vertical, he takes him man to man. If number 1 were to run something underneath like a drag or a slant, then he will kick his eyes to the number 2 and look to double any vertical route from this receiver, especially routes to the outside like a deep corner or a deep out. Okay, the safety is reading 2 to 1. If the number 2 were to run a route past linebacker depth, which is what they, a vertical route, he will take that route man to man. But if the number 2 were to run something underneath, then he will kick his eyes to the number 1 and look to play robber on any vertical route to the inside, like a post, a dig, or a curl. So essentially, if I were to do something like this, then the number 2, the safety will read the number 2. He will see that he runs something underneath, so then he will look to number 1 and he should play robber on this post route. So this guy should get doubled on the outside here. And essentially he does. I don't have enough time because Khalil Mack. So let's go to the palm side of the coverage. Okay, the safety is reading 2 to 1, so you may think, well, there's no change there. However, the corner is also reading 2 to 1. So the safety is reading the number 2. If the number 2 runs a vertical route, then he will take that route man to man. The corner is also reading 2 to 1, and when he sees that this number 2 is running a vertical route, then he will kick his eyes to number 1 and he will play his vertical route man to man. So essentially with this route combination, even though you have palms called, it will seem as if they're playing cover 4 post snap, because the corner will just take the post by the number 1 and the safety will take the post by the number 2. Snap the ball. Will I get any time? I have enough for you to see it. Our safety got burned on the post, but you get the idea. Okay, where the differences come, let me double Khalil Mack, it's annoying. Where the differences come is when the number 2 runs a flat route. A flat or an outside breaking route underneath linebacker depth. So we'll have him run, just an out. The safety is reading 2 to 1. When the safety sees that the number 2 runs something underneath and to the outside, like a flat or an out route here, he will immediately then kick his eyes to the number 1 and look to play any vertical route from the number 1. The reason for that is because the corner is also reading 2 to 1, and if the number 2 were to run an outside breaking route, then the corner will take that route man to man. Okay? So in this instance, we should see the corner take the out route, and we should see the safety play the deep post. Alert! And that's what happens.
Wait, that. Wait, 20.
So that's the difference in the secondary when it comes to cover four and cover four palms. But there's also a difference in the quarter flat defender. Okay, so the quarter flat defender on this side, his responsibilities are a little bit different than a quarter flat player on this side. Okay, so on the cover four side, um, if this if the number two was in space, he would look to reroute him and get hands on him so he doesn't get a free release on the safety, and he would be a match two player. So on this side, when he runs like an out route or a flat, our quarter flat player is his responsibility is to match that route. So he should play that route man to man. Okay, so we'll go ahead and watch that.
Alert! 380 hit!
And he does. So the difference on this side,
Charlie!
so we'll run the same concept on both sides of the field. Outpost, okay? On this side, why do the quarter flat player he's not going to match the number two running it out. Why is that? Well, because the logic is different on this side. Remember, the corner is reading 2 to 1, and if the number two runs an out or a flat, the corner takes that route. So there will be no need for the quarter flat player to match that out. Okay, you don't want to have two players doing the same responsibility. Okay, that's when you're giving up way too much space, and you're doing the offensive favor. You know, it'd be like two players playing deep middle at the same time, right? So instead of him matching the number two, he pretty much plays almost like a curl zone technique instead. Okay, so we should see that.
Regular!
And we do. You see the differences between the curl flat player on the cover four side and the curl flat player on the palm side. Okay, one matched the number two, the other one played more of a curl zone technique. Okay, so that's the differences between cover four and cover four palms in a 2x2 set. Now, cover four palms, I have cover four palms called here. Cover four palms is a little bit different against trips than cover four zone is. Okay, remember in cover four zone, these two players, this corner is just going to be Meg on this receiver on this side. He's one-on-one. Okay, man everywhere he goes. He runs a 5-yard in, that's your man. 5-yard out, that's your man. Deep out, that's your man. No matter what, even a drag, that's your man. Okay, and then on this side, think of it as like a bubble. These three players are playing their cover four responsibilities in man match. Okay, so this corner would be reading 1 to 2. This safety would be reading 2 to 1, and this would be your quarter flat player. Okay, so I'm not going to go over the rules and responsibilities. You should know that now with cover four. The difference is in trips formations, this safety is going to take any vertical route from the tight end here. Okay, that's with cover four against trips. With palms, it's different. Okay, in palms, this guy is still Meg, man everywhere he goes, no matter what, that's your man. But on this side of the field, this guy is Meg as well with this wide receiver. Okay, with the number 1. So instead of the bubble being over these three players like it would be in cover four, imagine the bubble being over these three players. Okay, this safety is going to read 3 to 2, and this corner is going to read 3 to 2 as well. If number 3 runs a vertical route, the safety takes him. If number 3 were to run an underneath route to the outside, then the number 3 takes the number 2 receiver on a vertical route. Okay, now looking at the corner, he's reading 3 to 2 as well. If the number 3 runs a vertical route, then he kicks his eyes to number 2 and he takes the vertical route from number 2. However, if the number 3 were to run an outside breaking route underneath, then this corner will play that route man to man, knowing that the safety over the top is taking any route from the number 2. Okay, so in this instance, we have cover 4 palms called. We should see the corner here take him because he's mad everywhere he goes. We should see the nickel take this guy up the field because he takes all because of the number 3 taking a vertical route. Safety is going to take the number 3 because he takes a vertical route, and this corner should take the number 2 because number 3 takes a vertical route. Okay,
53 Linda!
and that's what happens. Now we'll see a difference when I do this.
Regular, regular!
Now it's going to be a change. The corner here should take the number 3 on that out route because we're in palms. He's reading 3 to 2. 3 takes that out. He should take him, look to jump that outside breaking route, and that will have the safety who's also reading 3 to 2. When he sees him take that out route, he should take the vertical of number 2. So we should see that,
Go bandit!
and that's exactly what happens.
Wait, that, wait!
So why would you want to call cover 4 palms in some situations rather than cover 4 quarters? And I'll show you why. One of the reasons.
Wait,
I
that,
call cover 4
53!
quarters,
Alert!
and one main reason is a leverage issue by the quarter flat player. So this player, remember, he's a match 2 player, right? So in this instance, we have cover 4 called. The corner is reading 1 to 2. The safety is reading 2 to 1. The corner is going to take this route man to man because it's past linebacker depth. Number 2 is also going to double that route because he's reading 2 to 1, and when he sees the number 2 run something underneath, he's going to kick his eyes to number 1 and help out on any inside breaking routes past linebacker depth, and it is. Remember, robber, post, dig, curl, right? So Sanu should be doubled, and our quarter flat player should be playing the out route because he has to match the out. The problem is his leverage. He's playing inside technique. You see how he's inside leverage on this outbreaking route here, and the reason is he kind of wants to be somewhat of a force inside in the run in the box. Okay, a backside run may be an issue here. Well, with him playing inside technique, he's already at a disadvantage against an outbreaking route here. So, being the fact that he's supposed to match the 2 on the outside, I mean, you can pretty much throw this all day.
50!
And that can present
Wait,
an
that,
issue to your
53!
defense. Okay, with cover 4 palms, if you think about it, this guy's reading 2 to 1 as well as the safety. Remember, the corner is going to match the 2 pretty much on any outside breaking route, like an out or a flat. So because he's doing that, the quarter flat player doesn't have the responsibility of matching the 2. Okay, so post snap, if this guy were to run an out route against palms coverage, quarter flat player doesn't match that. He can play further inside and play more of a post curl zone technique. Okay, like zone coverage inside, and it also allows him to be more of a force in the box. Okay, because post snap, if he was a match 2 player post snap and you snap the ball, it would put him in a run pass conflict. Okay, what if this slot receiver runs to the outside and it's actually a running play, right? Well, you're in conflict. Do I match the 2 going out because it may be a passing play, or do I play more inside because it looks like it may be a run? Okay, see, that's the issue when you run into run past option type stuff, right? You put this guy in a big conflict when you're playing cover 4 zone here. Okay, but in palms, because he doesn't have to worry about matching the out from the number 2, he's not in conflict post snap. You snap the ball and it looks like it may be a run, well, he doesn't have to be in conflict on whether or not he has to cover the out because he knows that that's covered from the corner who's reading 2 to 1 and jumping any outside breaking route underneath from that player. Okay, so that's 2 reasons right there. It's because cover 4 palms can help you out in leverage issues from the out route from the slot receiver here, And cover 4 palms can also help you out in backside runs because this player isn't in run pass conflict post snap. Okay. Now another reason why cover 4 palms may be more beneficial for a particular defense to run instead of cover 4 regular coverage is due to the free safety here. Okay. Remember, in cover 4 zone against trips, this safety is responsible for the number 3 if the number 3 gets vertical. Okay. The defense are supposed to help inside. The Mike linebacker is supposed to wall off the number 3 as he gets vertical and carry him up to about, I believe, 10 yards. So you can't, that's to alleviate a quick ball thrown, right after the snap of the ball, and allows the free safety enough time to take steps inside to climb over the top of the number 3 when he tries to get vertical. Okay, because remember, this weak side corner, he's Meg. He's one-on-one no matter what. Whatever this wide receiver is doing, he's playing him man-to-man. Okay, we're talking about regular cover 4 coverage. Think about the issue, though, with this. Okay, because the safety, this weak side safety, knows that he's responsible for a vertical from the number 3. Think about what if the offense were to run a strong side run and cut back to the weak side. Okay, you're a little bit weak in this area in weak side run support. Okay, and at the snap of the ball, you may put this free safety into run pass conflict. Okay, am I to climb over the top of the number 3 here because it looks like he's climbing upfield, or is this a run that may cut back to the weak side? That sort of thing. Okay, now think about palms coverage. In palms coverage, the weak side corner is still Meg, but the difference here is the corner on this side is Meg with this receiver as well. So the safety and the nickel corner are both reading 3-2. So if the 3 were to take an out, the nickel corner will take that route and match it, while the safety will match a vertical stem from the number 2. Okay, if the number 3 were to get vertical, though, now our weak side safety doesn't have to deal with that because the safety is reading 3-2 and the safety is going to take that vertical route. Okay, so we pretty much alleviate the issue of the safety having to climb over the top of the number 3, so he doesn't have to worry about a vertical route from the tight end here. So instead of that, he can put all of his focus in just being a football player and robbing inside, helping out on the backside receiver. But if we were to run into a weak side run, he can be a far more aggressive in the box, knowing that if he's wrong, he doesn't have to worry about a deep shot of the number 3 crossing over the top with a vertical route, because the strong side safety is responsible for that vertical route. Okay, so that's just another scenario in which cover 4 palms may be a better, a more suitable play to run against trips than cover 4 zone. If you're worried about backside runs, and you want your weak side safety to be more available to shore up the box on the weak side, maybe you think your weak side safety isn't that great in pass defense and you really don't want him playing one-on-one against a tight end. Maybe you have a really athletic tight end on the other side and you'd rather have the other safety deal a vertical route from that guy in trips. That could be another reason. So that's it. That's the end of this video. This video was to give you the rules and the logic behind cover 4 against 2x2 sets and 3x1 sets. Okay, and it also gave you the rules and responsibilities, the logic behind cover 4 palms against 2x2 sets and 3x1 sets. Okay, believe me, all this is necessary before you try to get better with defensive alignment, creativity, and disguising coverage. Adding little wrinkles to the defense. You really need to understand the rules and logic behind what everyone is supposed to do in the defense against a particular set. I so what we have left, we do have to do um, a bunch logic. So I mean, you go against 2x2 sets. You have 3x1 sets. We did both of those in this video. Maybe we will jump into stuff like I formation rules, and I want to get into the bunch, how your defense when you call cover 4 palms or cover 4 against bunched and against stacked looks. Okay, stacked receivers and stuff of that nature, because the rules and the logic play a little bit different. Okay, so hope you learned something. This video may be boring compared to all the other ones, but you know, I think it's very necessary in order to get better understanding in the game. And to me, it's exciting. I just love football theory from all angles. Hope you come again.